the side quest, right? So
Yeah.
your hobbies are your main quest, right? Your
family is your side quest. Don't let them get in the way of the grind.
But
Dad?
Who is my daddy and what does he do?
Dad?
Daddy, chill.
Dad?
This is the Dad Voice.
well, welcome back to the Dad Voice podcast. Do you ever get to the point where you feel like you're just kind of doing the same thing every day over and over again, and it kind of gets exhausting? You're
Yes.
like, man, I just want to do what I love.
Yeah, me too.
Well, that's what today's episode's about. We're talking about career versus passion and where the lines are and how ADHD can make that so much harder to navigate.
Yeah, the lines are all over the place.
It's a reality for like a ton of people with ADHD all the time, and
It's a blend of delusion, possibility, and reality.
it is. And there's I was gonna say I don't really have the same issue of job hopping or struggling to maintain a job, but we've done an episode last season about how many jobs we've had.
Yeah.
Which was the
list started getting kind of big.
yeah,
Like, well,
this was the rough draft version of what this episode is, right? So now we're talking about like how to navigate that and stuff like that. But yeah, we've had quite a few jobs, both of us. Maybe not as many as other people with ADHD, but I have noticed that like you get in there, you get into it, and you're like, you find your flow state with the job, and then you really like it, and then it stops being challenging or engaging, and then all of a sudden you're like, all right, time to move on to the next one. So that's what we're talking about today. This is, like I said, the Dad Voice podcast. I'm Cole.
I'm Phil.
Perfect. So, Phil, I know we've been talking about it lately, just you and I off camera, about what we're going to do, because this is our passion, and we both, don't get me wrong, I like my job, but this, like, my job is a cool career,
Yeah.
but this is what I want to do for a living, like
Right.
entertaining people. And you're much closer to being able to do that than I am, because I can't get my shit together on my channel at all.
It's like I've got my shit together on my TikTok channel. Like I made a video a couple days ago that's got almost 600,000 views. And now I'm just in the phase where I'm like, I know I can do it, but I'm like, it's time to like put this all together and try to make it make money. And we'll see if making money ruins it for me. You never know. As often happens with ADHD. You're like, I did it.
I think, though, the appeal to this, we've talked about it before, but the appeal to this is it's got so much variability. Like we're doing the same thing physically. Like we get in, we come sit down every week, we talk. You get up, you make a one-liner in your camera.
Yeah.
And you post it. But it's never the same thing. Like some of the monotony, like I do get exhausted because I do all the editing and I do all the posting, and it's like, okay, fucking Jesus Christ, this is exhausting me to some degree. And like, I understand that that's my part of this. Like we're using your fame, and I'm just gonna have to piggyback off of you. And that's my role, is to just make sure it looks clean when we put it out.
Hell yeah.
And so
we discussed that off camera too.
Yeah.
What if everything we talk about is only on camera? We actually don't talk off camera.
We never have a conversation.
We just like to be transparent and let everything be recorded.
Yeah, the day that you find out that something horrible happened in my family, you're going to be like, oh my God. Or I'll be like,
hey, you didn't show up to recording the past 3 weeks, man.
Yeah, I got divorced.
What happened?
My wife finally realized she was way out of my league.
Want to make an episode about it?
All right, cool. Today's episode is about divorce. No, we luckily my wife is still for some reason into me. I can't figure that one out. Not what this episode's about. Back on track. I love my wife. Let me be very clear. That wasn't shit talking.
I too love my wife.
Her wives are standing behind the camera.
Yeah, I didn't mean for that to sound like I was being held hostage.
The ADHD brain, right? And this is not just for dads. This is for everybody. The ADHD brain operates on like the learning curve, the quintessential learning curve. Once we master it, and it's like you get it down and it becomes integrated into your routine, that dopamine hit just kind of falls off.
Falls
And
off a
so, like,
much
when
steeper cliff than
Right.
maybe most people.
And when you're into it, and like the problem is with jobs, especially, like this is how you make money, and we have families.
You
we
have to
can't-
do this shit.
Yeah, we can't just stop. Because
have a
it's
choice.
convenient. If we didn't have families and we were doing this, we might be able to sit there and go, okay, we're going to be roommates in a fucking apartment and just grind this shit out, but we can't do that.
Yeah, we can't live the starving artist lifestyle when we have families to support.
Exactly. And so
how do you balance that?
That's the question, really. Yeah. Sometimes you get so exhausted and you're like, I don't want to quit. I'm not a quitter. I just got good at this, and like I'm doing well in this job. So I realistically, like we were just saying, I can't just jump ship and let this just fall to the wayside. I got to pay the bills. I got to feed the kids, and so you have to figure out one small solution. I wouldn't even call it a solution, but it just kind of helps, is like for that normal monotonous day-to-day shit, just kind of like find those little ways you can modify it. Find a way to find something to try to improve a workflow or to improve a process. And then, if you fail, well, then now you have a reason.
You try another one.
And you can dig in and go, why did this fail? Right? Like it gives you a new thing to chase. And eventually you run out of those, and eventually you could be potentially the best at your job. And then maybe you'll get promoted, and then you'll have a new job to master.
And then you can get promoted again. Yeah. And then again, and then you die.
And then you die. And then you get promoted to death. Okay?
Yeah.
So
get promoted to the Lord of the Underworld.
That's right.
If you were naughty throughout your life.
That's right. I wonder if that is like you die and then you can just get promoted to like Hades.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a job role.
Mine would just be like shitty NPC soul.
Just the guy wailing in the background.
Yeah. Guy number 4 wailing in the background. Ambiance.
So, obviously, though, we want to follow our passion, right? Like, we're not doing this just because we think that the world really needs our...
Following our passion is also borderline clinical and necessary.
Yeah.
When you have ADHD.
And
it won't let you fully put everything into anything but what you're attracted to.
Right, and it's a fine line.
Yeah.
It's a fine line, because if you do it too much... and you get hyperfixated and you get really passionate about it, and then it starts to feel like work.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Now it's not
time to jump ship and start thinking of something tangentially similar.
Right.
To start all anew.
And I don't know what to do after this, because I feel like after this it's just film. And I don't have the looks for film. So we got to make the podcast work, right?
Yeah, then we can get the money to have the looks for film.
That's right. Yeah, I can looks max or whatever the fuck that clavicles guy calls it.
Chesticles.
Chesticles. There you go. So, do you know what pathological demand avoidance is?
No.
I just learned this word not long ago, right? But it's commonly associated with neurodivergence, autism particularly, and ADHD, but I'll just read it. It's characterized by an intense anxiety-driven need to resist everyday demands and expectations. So I deal with this shit all the time, right? Like, that's one of the reasons that
true rebels are autistic.
That's right. It took me forever to take the Security Plus for this exact reason. Because,
dude, I deal with this too. I'm like, what is that? It's almost like this drive to not be successful, or like this like doom-driven drive to not do the shit that you need to do to stay alive. I don't know. I've never been able to figure that out.
It's very strange, because like what you need to do, and that has to get done, but suddenly you're like, I don't want to fucking do it anymore. Like I don't want to do it because it gives me anxiety and it makes me stressed out knowing that I have to do this and get it done. You put a deadline on something. You put a specific demand on your shoulders, and suddenly you're like, and that right there is the quickest way to kill a passion.
Yeah.
By putting that demand, we come in here very loosey-goosey because we don't want to do that. And you and I have naturally just played into that.
Yeah.
Without even really knowing that we were doing it, because we just kind of come in here, we have an idea, we've got the notes, but more often than not, I'll be reading through the notes after the episode and be like, shit, we could have talked about this, we could have talked about this, because we really let ourselves, because we don't want to make ourselves
We would have sounded robotic because we feel like we're being forced to go on these points.
And I think a lot of people, again, this is one of those things like RSD and all the other acronyms we have that people didn't really have a name for, but they all know what it is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
the feeling.
For that one, there's not really, like, you just have to
just fucking do it.
Just fucking bite down and do it. The right mind frame. That's it. You got to get into the right mind frame. So the right mental state to be in is understand that I have to do this job to fund what I love to do.
Exactly. If you frame it as I have a much larger, more nebulous, nice, fun goal.
It's a means to an end.
I am working towards. And you don't make that, end goal of doing what you love for a living. You don't make that as finite until you start getting closer to monetizing it, because then if you make it finite too early, you'll be like, this feels like a job.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like we don't want it to feel like something that we just have to do, and it's just the grind, right? Like we do have those grind aspects of this, of whatever else we like to do, but at the same time, like we genuinely love doing this, and honestly, I think not making money off this definitely makes it easier to not feel like a job.
Yeah.
And you were mentioning that before we warmed up the mics, but like, yeah, I do worry that if this podcast were to take off or make us money, that it would maybe start to feel like a job. But I think then we'd have so much other cool shit to do.
It's also one of those things where we've been doing it for almost a year for nothing. We're like, it's already baked into our routine.
Yeah.
So I feel like it wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, like my son yesterday, because we normally do like Saturday nights, and my son yesterday was like, why are you still here? And I was like, doing Sunday mornings this weekend because your mom doesn't work Sunday, so I can get there in the morning and really enjoy it.
And not feel as stressed.
Right. And he was like, oh, that's weird. And I was like, yeah, I know, buddy. Me too. I get it.
What do y'all do around here?
So this one is a big one. The jack of all trades, master of none kind of superpower thing, because you can do a bunch of shit, but then
everybody likes to ignore the second part of that phrase.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And then, but there's also like the full thing, which is like a jack of all trades, master of none, but a jack of
all trades is better than none.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I like the second part.
Yeah. So
makes you feel good again.
It does. And that's the thing, is like, I know a bunch of shit about a bunch of stuff. Like I feel like I could realistically, like it would be a very low budget production. Like I wouldn't charge a ton, but I could edit someone's videos now.
Yeah.
Because I've learned how to do it for this, right?
You could knowingly do it better than they could.
Right.
And you can be confident in that.
And
then when you start going like, well, shit, I can be a $1 trillion movie production studio. Yeah. That's when you start getting
a little bit too out there.
Yeah. And that's when you're like, well, shit, I haven't made $1 trillion yet. I must suck at this. So.
That's crazy. I suck because I haven't become a trillionaire.
It's like, no, you're really good at it, but everything still takes time.
And the thing about it, and this is weird to say, because like with the autism ADHD combination, sometimes you fight against yourself with this, but like the ADHD gives you the ability, like you're like that Swiss Army dad, you know what I mean? Like you can talk to people, and for me, like, because of my fears of not really understanding scenarios or not understanding people, I talk too much. Anybody who talks to me knows that I just don't shut the fuck up, and I can yab and yab and yab. But when I said yab, but I can yap and yap and yap. But
you're yabbing too.
I'm yabba dabba doing,
Yab on them.
A perfect example of when I'm the opposite and I really kind of withdraw is like after I play a set when I'm playing with a band. and I'm just exhausted. I'm worn out. I'm tired.
You've used all that passion energy.
All that energy is just completely.
You got a
into that
massive
set.
fucking shock of dopamine.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay.
And I need a few minutes to just recollect and like collect myself and just get back to the point. Because then a few minutes later, if I'm allowed that time to just decompress for a second, I can come back in and partake in the show and have fun. But I feel like I've been a dick to people on accident because people, especially when you play a small venue, people rush the stage and like, good set, dude. That was so good, dude. And I'm like, yeah, thanks. Okay. And you know, they want to hug you. And I'm like, please don't fucking touch me. Like, I don't like to be touched. Please don't do that. And like and I've never gotten.
How dare you doth touch the hem of my cloak. Stay back.
Yes, that's me because I am the king.
Yeah.
There's a balance that's required, but you're able to. The one thing is like it does apply a bit of pressure, especially I'm in security now, but my past is just mostly retail. So I've got retail management, which is good because it shows leadership skills and it shows that I can manage. And I made every store I ever touched in any of those companies a shitload of money, and so constant growth and good. This is all good stuff to see. And then I have IT help desk manager, IT help desk again, security analyst. And it's like, okay, that collective, those 2 jobs or 3 jobs is what we need. However, your resume is like giving us a very different picture. And it's like, yeah, because I've been in a billion different, like I also have tattoo artist and tattoo shop manager and line cook and
Indeed.com employee.
Yeah.
If you remember that.
Yeah, the Indeed.com employee where I'm just checking resumes. But yeah,
They're all your own old resumes.
Yeah, I'm
You're
just
like, damn, how many did I submit?
and I'm rejecting myself as I go. No, it is like it's kind of, you get like, for you were talent management, you were an entertainer, now you're in logistics and management, and like, fuck, like, how am I supposed to sell that? The good news is,
it's like one of those things sounds way more fun than all the others too.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah, why?
it's like, obviously, duh, that's where the passion is.
Yeah,
But it don't make shit.
it doesn't.
So you have to keep it locked down.
And the thing is, ADHD does present a certain gift because we talked about it I think it was the episode before
Every
last,
episode.
where we relate to people through, actually no, it was the last episode. Yeah, so we relate to people by giving them our own experiences, and some people think that that's self-centered or whatever, but in the places where that works really well is like sales,
Yeah.
talking to leadership, because you're giving examples. Interviewing, it makes you a great interviewer.
Yeah, it does.
Like, I have aced most interviews I've ever been in, even if I didn't want the job. Actually, to be honest, if I know I don't want the job and I'm going in for it, I just kill it at the interview.
Oh, of
because
course.
I'm like,
you don't have the pressure.
Gloves off. I can say whatever I want. It's fine.
One time I dropped my phone after drinking all night, and I think it wasn't King Von, but some really hard rap song started playing on my phone at full volume in the middle of an interview after I dropped my phone. I still got the internship.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's dumb. That's crazy, but that's awesome. And like I don't know. I've gone into interviews, and one thing that I hear consistently through all of my interviews is, and I always open an interview like this because most positions that I would apply for now, especially, but even in the past, like when I was managing a grocery store, I walked in and I said, listen, I want to talk to you guys straight up. I don't want to give any misconceptions here. I am heavily tattooed. Like on the phone interview, I was like, I'm heavily tattooed. I've got my hands, my neck done. Like I have what a lot of people would call the job stopper.
How do you afford a phone bill, you bum?
If that's a deal breaker, just let's go ahead and stop. No.
Yeah.
Like Lincoln Financial Group, I had applied to a job with them, and one of their
I
recruiters.
flirted with them some.
Yeah, one of their recruiters reached out to me and was like, "Hey, your resume looks good. We really like it." And I said, "Okay, but I know what Lincoln Financial Group is. They got the biggest building in downtown Greensboro. I just want you to understand, like, I'm heavily tattooed, and like I know that this is an IT job, but if that's going to be a problem, you need to talk to whoever you need to talk to and figure that out, because I don't want to waste your time or my time."
Yeah.
And
Fair.
she was like very cool about it. She's like, "I don't think that's going to work. We really do, like, it's like suits and ties and shit." But she's like, I actually appreciate that more than you understand.
You're like, I can get a tattoo of a suit.
Yeah. I'll get my full body.
I'll get
tattooed
cufflinks
as a-
on my wrist. I think another part of being good at interviews with ADHD is the employer is getting you at your best, because you're at your best at the beginning of new ventures, because you have yourself convinced that, like, oh, this is the thing. I'm passionate right now. So the employee they're getting initially is the one that interviews that genuinely is passionate and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's easy to get the job, but then the follow through, once it starts sucking, or you just genuinely become disinterested and you're like, I thought I was going to like this, but I don't. Then that's when the interview you is gone.
Yeah. And that's,
It tends to just fall apart.
yeah, it rolls through the process. And, you know, I mean, there's other ways to navigate that, like side hustles and stuff, right? Had a little bit of a technical difficulty. Right? So I think we were talking about, like, just kind of using our abilities, our superpowers with ADHD to just kind of like
Trying to do some kind of good with them.
yeah, using that also allows you to dip into the side hustles, and it allows you to, you know, I built PCs. We were talking about Pokemon cards. You know, I've done freelance IT work and shit, and the whole thing is like the manosphere that we talked about a few episodes back. Everybody is like, you know, you got to have 7 jobs. You got to hustle and grind and get all this done. While meanwhile, those guys aren't doing that at all. They're just trolling people, talking shit, sitting by a pool with whatever.
That could be me.
Yeah, right. Whatever Instagram model that they're helping plug at the moment. It's all fake. It's all not real. And so getting in to that, you just have to be aware that when you go into the side hustle game, most of your side hustles are going to be just like 3 hyperfixations in a trench coat
That
You know
make
what I mean?
nothing. Yeah.
And so one thing I will always advise against is like just plunging a bunch of money into it. Don't do that.
Dude, do not do it. As much as you want to, because you will want to, don't do it.
Your side hustles
Get exactly what you need.
right. And, or like, you know, just if you feel the need to spend money, make sure that it's something that you can get some longevity out of. So if you do fall off, maybe later you can come back and pick it back up and be like, all right, we're back, baby.
All right. We're not in too deep, but
Yeah. So
in a better space.
And I have a friend who I'm not going to call out by name, but this friend does not believe that they have ADHD despite all of the signs pointing to the fact that they do. That being one of them.
Yeah.
They are super good at a bunch of stuff. Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where, you know, it's a revolving door of things, and it's just the hustle is there, but
The hustle is there, but the interest lacks.
And so you have to be careful of that, because then all of a sudden you're sitting here with a pile of shit, like we've talked about before, of all these old projects.
Graveyard of cables and shit.
Yeah. And so now you're like, well, what do I do with all this? And if you want to know about decluttering and stuff, we made an episode earlier this season.
Oh,
about it,
nice.
so you can go check that out. But I think that that's one of the things that will also just kill a passion, is like turning it into a money pit and then like realizing like, oh fuck, like, this has become a burden.
There's the dopamine to dollar ratio is off.
The dopamine to dollar ratio is off. That's right. See, dude, I feel like we're giving ourselves lots of cool stuff to say
we are.
now when we make these. But again, we're not an advice column. We're not anything like that. We do give tips because it would feel shitty to just be like, do you have all these problems? We do too. Figure it out.
No, you tell me the solution.
We're begging you.
I don't want to do the work. We're telling you.
This is just two dads begging for help.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, this is basically this podcast is the white guys will do anything but go to therapy.
That's it. So we do have a few tips.
Yeah. Ish.
I think the wait to quit rule is a good one.
Got to give yourself a hard stop. You can't just be like, I'm going to quit when I feel like it. Don't let feelings drive. You say, hey, if you have to do 90 days, be like, my goal is to quit this regular job in 90 days. And then you practice your side hustle and stuff and maybe make sure you can do that to survive.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like, don't ever quit your job to dive headfirst into this. Because you, like we said earlier in this episode, you can use that job, your main job, to fund your passion, your excitement. And doing that will help you not get so deep in a hole. And also... Yeah,
you're like, my hours spent clocking in and stuff is not for nothing.
Right.
It's for something greater.
And all that time that you're spending on this thing, if it falls off, hey, you're still in a job. You still have income. If you quit your job to do this, which I've done this before.
Me too.
I've quit my job to go do something I really wanted to do. And then that didn't work out. And all of a sudden...
You're left on your ass.
Yeah. You're like, oh, shit, how do I pay my bills? And so then you have to go get a shitty job. Yeah. Because now you have to take whatever you can get. And you never want to find yourself in that position.
Don't put yourself in that cycle.
My rule is a year. I know that can be a long time for some people. I think that the more commitments you have, the longer you should allow yourself, because a year is good. A year gives you time to master the job if you're good at it. If you are good at it and you have mastered the job, it allows you time to start those conversations about, hey, maybe there's a promotion involved with this. And if you do, within that year, you could get promoted, and now you have a new goal to chase and a new job to learn. So it kind of refreshes the cycle for you. 90 days is still a good figure, especially like you get a feeling for the people. And one thing I will say is if the people are a problem, fuck them people. Leave.
Yeah. You could change yourself through time, but you can't change other people.
And you can't change shitty leadership.
You can walk up to them and say, I'm sorry, you're an uncontrollable variable.
Yeah.
And then you just leave.
And then you just walk out.
Sorry, I'm just trying to keep it purely logic.
They never see you again. And they're like,
we dodged a fucking bullet there.
They're like,
maybe
does that
literally
guy even work here? Like,
yeah, they're like, oh God.
I thought that was a customer this whole time.
Check out the ego on this guy.
There's just a lot of factors you have to consider. And again, we are speaking from the perspectives of people who have other people relying on us. We have families, we have wives and kids. If you don't have that, you have a lot more flexibility. I'm not saying that you should just say, fuck it.
Abandon your family.
Yeah, go to the starving artist side of things and just figure it out. But sometimes that does really put it into perspective for you. So if that's your choice, then it might not burn you that badly if you have a quick turnover, if that makes sense. Like you just have to be able to roll with the punches on if you're going to do it like that. I feel like I can't be super critical of people who do that because I have done that in the past.
Yeah, I've done all this myself.
Right. The other thing is your main job is actually the side quest, right? So your hobbies are your main quest, right? Your
family is your side quest. Don't let them get in the way of the grind.
But your family and your passions are your two main storylines, right?
Yeah.
And then you have to, but
they're congruent. They run parallel with each other.
You're at a point where you got to level up a little bit before you can get to the next part, because the boss that comes next is
there's a
a mortgage payment.
Yeah, there's a point where those two diverge, and I can guarantee anybody watching this is not close to that yet. So just hold tight, keep grinding.
And the thing about it is, at some point, you will get to where you've done enough side quests that suddenly now you can beat that boss. You can beat the successfully quitting my job to pursue my passion boss. And we just did an episode about video games 2 weeks ago. I think I'm
kind
still
of on the mind.
Still video game mind, but it is just about knowing the steps, getting it knocked out in an orderly fashion, and understanding. Okay,
Be methodical. Don't be chaotic.
Right,
but
which is hard.
But you still have to leave some of the goals a bit nebulous and mysterious to be more fun. But you have to have your guardrails. So,
and here's the thing: like every lunch break I'm on at work, I work from home, so I'm editing the video while I'm on lunch. I go back, I get it done. There are some days where, like, you know, we get to leave early or something, or, you know, you don't have to start as early. So I sit down and I edit videos. Like, learn to just shape and mold things around what you want to get done without jeopardizing your well-being or the well-being of the people that rely on you. You know, it doesn't, and learn how to use the tools that you have. You know, like if there's a way that you can do both your job and your hobby and your boss doesn't mind that, like if my boss, like tomorrow was like, hey, I really don't mind if you edit your videos for your podcast while you work, but just understand that you have to be prepared to answer a call if it comes in or something. I would do that in a heartbeat. That's not the case. I have to work all the time. I doubt my boss is listening, but you know, if you are,
give us 5 stars.
Yeah, give us 5 stars.
Tell Cole he's fired with 5 stars.
Yeah, that's right. If I had that luxury, I would 100% take advantage of it, and some people do. So learning how to just find those things that you can leverage and
integrate it into your life.
Dude, I can't tell you, when I was working at Journeys, I was totally against the rules, and I'll never work there again, so it doesn't matter. I can say this, but like I would put show flyers on the counter and just give it to people I thought wanted to come to a show. Be like, hey,
it makes sense. It's like people shopping at Journeys
want to go to see a show.
Yeah.
And I
feel like that gives it a more authentic Journeys experience.
Yeah.
You know?
And I saw people at those shows that had the flyer, and they were like, oh, cool. This is a pretty sweet gig. It's just about figuring out like those limits. Obviously, I'm not telling anybody to break the rules, so don't come to me if you get fired because you were handing out flyers at Journeys. But I broke the rules and I just got away with it. That's the only difference between me and you. If you get caught.
Oh, wait, we're not doing the dad blast.
We're not doing the dad blast. But no, just make sure that you're allowing yourself, because the whole thing that most people will tell you is, well, it just sucks to suck. You never get to do the thing you're passionate about. And I don't believe that at all. I believe that even if I have to work a full-time job and do this for as long as this podcast lasts, I'm still going to do this.
Because you just mentally commit to doing it however long it takes.
Right. And my whole mentality is fucked up is eventually we're going to find enough people that I can just start making a few bucks off of it.
With time, anything involves time.
And I'm not even kidding. That seems, because I look at content creators that I'm like, why the fuck are you? And
because they're trying, because they're putting themselves out there.
You just find out they started making their content 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And they just were able to adapt.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, well, that's what I got to do. And that's what
the only thing stopping you is yourself.
Yeah. And finances.
Or if you die or something.
Yeah, don't do that, please.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't want to keep beating this dead horse. I think everybody gets it, you know, and it's
starting to get brighter outside, so we have to wrap it up, too.
Yeah, because the lighting is going to fuck up if we don't. I genuinely, it's been weird for us because I feel like we're getting less of those like super deep belly laugh moments lately, but it has felt more meaningful.
It does mean something. Apparently humans crave that.
Yeah, so if this is helping you, if you're into this, then make sure to subscribe, follow along, give us likes, do all that good stuff.
Touch the buttons, hover over them if you got to think about it.
Give it a moment of thought, and then
hover.
You know, if you can't commit, you can't commit. I get it.
It's okay.
You know, I get it. It's fine. But we are glad you're here, no matter what. Appreciate all the support that we've gotten so far. We're getting close to a year. Okay, Father's Day.
Yeah.
Last year was our first episode. And man,
that's in June.
What a journey it has been.
Wow.
It's crazy. Like, I genuinely am proud of us because I look at what we have done with our passion.
Yeah, and we've actually stuck through long enough to finally start seeing a little bit of results
To
too,
see that,
like
and
lately.
that's if nothing else, you're looking at us. Even if you can't stand us, you're seeing two guys that you're like, how did these guys do it? We just stuck it out.
Yeah,
Like,
because there's ebbs and flows to everything. Like,
Yeah.
there's ebbs and flows to, if you're doing something like this, getting views, but it's about the consistency, the constant. You don't stop.
So we're gonna soft launch this because if we don't get any questions,
That'll be embarrassing, but
we don't
it's okay.
get any dad vices anymore, which is sad. I feel like I've stopped plugging it, which I probably should plug it, maybe more in the middle of the episode. However, if you want dad advice, you can email us at thedadvoicepod@gmail.com, subject line dad advice, and ask us a question or give us something you want to hear us talk about. However, another thing I would like to do is I was watching the Hard Lore podcast, and I talked about it recently. They just lost their co-host Bo Looters, and Colin posted just a Q&A that they did with each other where they just asked each other questions. And we are not the Hard Lore podcast. Not nearly as many people are interested in what we have to say. But I did think it would be cool if because we have I can see it in the numbers. We have a committed base of people that are watching and keeping up. If any of you guys want to just ask us it doesn't have to be dad advice. It just has to just ask us any questions you want to hear us answer.
Yeah.
I think for a year, it would be cool for us to ask each other questions and then maybe ask questions.
Hell yeah, we're already filling episode time
from
for
viewers.
season 3.
So,
what's up?
So that's just something I have in my mind. So if you guys think that you want to hear us answer some questions you have, that'd be super cool. If not, I'm not going to be disappointed. I still think
I will be
a good Q&A about the dads behind the
then
Dad
I'll be
Voice
mad
podcast.
at Cole for proposing the idea and it flopping.
He's gonna be like, "You stupid fuck! You
God.
thought of this, and now I got my hopes up that people would care, and they don't."
And they don't.
No, it's been exciting meeting people, getting to talk to people, really experiencing things with people. Big fan of the people that we've come in contact with so far, and I can't wait to do it more. Most of them. I can't wait to do more with this, but this is our passion, and I'm glad we got to talk about this on today's episode. I'm just yapping now, so I think it's
clicky all the dang buttons.
Clicky the buttons.
Please.
Leave us reviews. Comment,
or hover.
Tell us what your passion is.
I'm always curious about other people's passions.
Yeah.
Like what exists outside of doing 7-second comedy videos? Like for me, like, you know what I mean? Like what else exists?
Tell us what you're into in the comments
that you're trying to make money.
Right. And tell us, we can plug you. Even though we're not huge, we have 169 subscribers on YouTube,
Yeah. I mean, that's something.
So, no.
Only a couple of them are me.
I would love to plug people. I like local businesses I've been trying to connect with. It's tough because I am so busy that I really don't have time to commit to stuff like
physical
that.
networking.
But one person we have connected with is Ricky Keene. By the time this comes out, Bring the Heat Metal Fest should be right around the corner.
Oh, yeah, that's what that was.
Yeah, let me see if I can get a date for that because I wouldn't mind plugging his little metal fest.
Also, I'm about to piss myself.
Okay. Phil has to pee, so we will catch you guys next time.
It's urgent.
All right.
Goodbye.
We got to go. Goodbye.
Not my dad! We did it, Dad!
Who is my daddy?